Everybody, Brian Shannon here from alphatrends.net. Today's Friday, the 15th of August, 2025. Hope you had a good week in the markets. Overall, they were pretty positive here. Biotechs were the standout, up 6.5%, and the Russell 2000 gained some ground as well. While Bitcoin was down just 2 basis points here, it was a volatile week. So let's take a look at these charts and make some sense of it. As I always say, let's start out with the crypto so I don't forget. Let's put it over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, last night I posted a chart on Twitter saying that this looked like an important level that it came down to and you could measure risk against for a new purchase. Well, it undercut that. So seems like we might be in for a little bit deeper profit taking. And what often happens is when we see an extended move like this into new high territory, it's met with profit taking, and that's exactly what we have here. So from this failed move higher comes a fast move lower. Perhaps we'll head down into this zone down near 113, 114. I don't have any bids in there currently, but I did lighten my positions, not in Bitcoin or Ethereum this week. I still have my core position there, but Ethereum looks like it ought to head into that 41, 4200. I did trim significantly in XRP simply because this was my larger holding. I had added over here and got out basically of that add right in here. I don't think that I'm likely to buy it back into what I sold this weekend. I still have some position in it, but let's see how it handles this 295-ish area. And Solana would probably still be the best one on a longer term basis, but I'm not ready to buy it in here yet. We had a very nice run the last couple weeks, and this is just some normal profit taking. If we took a Fibonacci off of this low to this high, you can see we've come down right now 38.2%, and that ties the anchor from the high of last month and the low of this month right in here. So I'll be looking for it to stabilize in here, and if it doesn't, perhaps it comes back down to the anchor from the election, but that'll do it for crypto right now. I'm not looking to add, like I said. The S&P 500, it was slightly positive this week, and you can see here that it basically, we had a gap up and then it went sideways for the last couple of days here, and we're still above a rising 5-day moving average. We're still above the anchor from the month to date. We're still above the 20-day moving average. Next week, what we'll be looking for is this prior band of supply right in here to hopefully become demand. In other words, resistance broken tends to act as support if we pull back. If we see a deeper pullback, it wouldn't surprise me to see it pull back down towards the month-to-date anchor. There is zero evidence of that so far, but we do have to look at crypto and say that maybe some of the more speculative money coming out of crypto is telling us that we're maybe due for a little bit less of a risk appetite and that things are going to slow down in these markets. They've certainly had a tremendous run here and some pullback in price wise. Wouldn't be a bad thing for it. If we take a look at the Nasdaq, we can draw a trend line along these lows right here, and if we were to test that trend line again, it would bring us down to 565. However, right above that, we have the anchor off this prior all-time high and the month to date, which was this low right here. That would come in at about 568. I'm sorry, 569. So basically 565 to 569. If we get down towards that level, that would actually be a nice refreshing pause, I think. So if we get trapped below this 5-day moving average in the next couple days and it does this, here's our first level of defense. And if we were to break below that, I think you'd see it down here pretty quickly. But again, that's just a potential scenario. The key is we're above a rising 20, 50, 200-day moving average. The buyers are in control, and they have been for a while, and a trend once established is more likely to continue than reverse, but we're getting into some rarefied air up here with this move. The Russell 2000, as noted, had a good week, and this is what I had sketched in last night for subscribers. I said we want to see it pull back down, make a little lower high, then maybe another lower low early, maybe Monday into Tuesday, and then I think you could look at the Russell 2000 and think maybe it can continue to move higher. I have no plans to buy it yet, but that's what I'll be updating for Alpha Trend subscribers every day next week as I do videos for them every day, and you can get involved in that on Twitter for just $10 a month. Semiconductors took a little bit of a breather here. And again, little bit just later in the week. They were still positive on the week. This is where we were last Friday. So we made a little bit of progress to the upside, and we made new all-time highs 2 days in a row here before a little bit of profit taking. So it's hard to be bearish when a market is just 2 days off its all-time high. However, we have a lower low right here. We broke this pattern of higher highs and higher lows. We have a slightly lower high and a lower low. So if we continue along this route, then I would keep an eye on the month-to-date anchor, the 20-day moving average, and then we will, as I said, update this every single day for the current readings as the market gives us more information. Biotechs are positive on the year. That hasn't happened for a while. Let's take a look. Here's where we are. This is the beginning of the year right here. So we've only spent a handful of days, maybe 20 days, above the close from last year. They broke back above that 200-day moving average that had them trapped. So we were talking about the pinch between the 200 and the 50-day moving average. I didn't buy because I didn't want to chase that gap. Next week, if we can see that maybe they start to pull back a little bit and consolidate, that they'll give us the opportunity for a more sustained move to the upside. Bonds got hit, continue to get hit. As noted last week, this market broke to a new high. It broke out, and people who buy extended breakouts are generally going to be chasing. This market still hasn't stabilized. We still have a declining 5-day moving average, and with all the macro information out there, one day we've got the experts telling us that the Fed's going to cut 3 times before the end of the year. The next day we get a little bit of information, and they tell us no, we're not cutting at all. Bottom line is only price pays. If the bonds are going down, you don't buy the bonds. That's all there is to it. They still need more time. There's still a broken market in here, and only price pays. So if you got involved in that stock I put on Twitter, FTAI, then you should be involved somewhere right around in this area. At Alpha Trends, we've taken 1/3 off to simply reduce our risk, and we've raised our stops in there. So I update a lot of stocks every day for Alpha Trend subscribers. Take a trial and see what it's all about if it's for you. If not, no problem. Have a good weekend, everybody.